Wow. Okay. Lawlers, today we are going to be learning all about Kog'Maw in this beginner's guide. So this little vomit-spitting dinosaur insect bug guy, I don't know what he is, but he's basically a right-click champion. So a lot of his kit's going to revolve around simply auto-attacking people down, getting items, your kind of classic ADC, if you will. So let's quickly talk about some of the runes and the items that you're going to want to build on this guy when you're playing him in that kind of marksman attack damage carry role. So rune-wise, we are running Lethal Tempo. It's really good on Kog'Maw. He has a couple of ranged abilities that if you hit an enemy champion, you want to have that burst of attack damage and speed that you'll gain from this rune. So that's really key on Kog'Maw. Next up is Presence of Mind. So that's going to give you a little bit of mana. He still does have some mana-based abilities that you're going to be reliant on. So it's always nice to get a little bit of extra mana restored in his kit as you're walking around and firing off some abilities. Then you got Legend Alacrity again for attack speed, Coup de Grace to hit some people down when they're low on health, and then just Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter to give you some sustain while you're auto-attacking champs or units in lane. So in terms of a build with Kog'Maw, it's pretty straightforward right now anyway. So you're going to be rushing the Kraken Slayer as your first item. I'm going to add a bunch of gold here just so we can pick this up. So starting items, Doran's Blade start with the pot. And then you're going to be rushing that Kraken Slayer as your first major item in lane. You're going to pick up the Berserker's Greaves as your boots options in pretty much all of your games. And then as a third item, you can see here there's a variety. It probably depends a little bit more on your playstyle, honestly, which one you pick up here. But again, what you're looking for is some extra attack damage, maybe some crit chance, some attack speed, right? So you have a plethora of items here. I personally like to go with the Rage Blade as my third core item, so I'm just going to pick that up here. That'll kind of set you up for success as Kog'Maw in your games with these three items. Okay, a lot of his kit, like we talked about, revolves around auto attacks and right-clicking people. This setup with the Kraken Slayer is going to let you deal true damage every time you hit that third attack on someone, which is amazing for attack damage carries. And then obviously with the Ginsu's Rage Blade, there's some really good passives built into this item as well to deal even more damage. So that's going to be your basic setup with Kog'Maw. We're now going to talk about some of the abilities that you're going to have at your disposal and how you might want to tie those together to combo off with Kog'Maw in your lanes. Alright, so we spawned our practice dummy here in the bot lane. With Kog'Maw, generally the first ability you're going to pick up in lane is going to be your W, Bio Arcane Barrage. It essentially gives Kog'Maw an extra range on his auto attack, so his right clicks, and it's going to let those right clicks on autos deal a little bit more max health damage. So this ability is going to be the one you max out first on Kog'Maw. It's kind of his whole identity as a right click champion. It lets you kind of burn down people with a few autos very effectively as you put more points in this. And when this ability is available to you, Kog'Maw's powerful. When it's not and it's on cooldown and you've used it, kind of back off, just realize that Kog'Maw's a lot weaker without his W active. So just to show you the difference here, if I right click this champ, you can see that dealt 74 damage with Kog'Maw's normal autos, and you can just double check your auto attack damage here in the stats next to your character icon. And if we also check the range at which we can right click that champion, you can see it's right around here in this open area in between the grass. Okay, so what we'll do is we know that it deals 74 damage, and we know that we have to be about here to hit somebody with a normal auto attack. So what we'll do is now is we'll activate W and we'll try and auto attack this champ. Now it dealt 104 damage. You can see the range at which we can auto attack is maybe about a character unit away, so it's not huge, especially when there's only one level in it, but it does afford you a little bit more safety when you're auto attacking people as Kog'Maw. So we'll just activate, or sorry, we'll just auto attack again. You can see 74 from around this distance. We'll back off, we'll activate W. You can see now it's just about a character model away. Okay, so again, really key to remember with Kog'Maw, there's not too much to know about this guy. It's when your W is available and you've pressed it and it's active, you're probably going to shred people down. When it's not active, you probably don't even want to be fighting anyone. Okay, he's very much a glass cannon. You're just going to walk around and spit out damage. You don't really have any dashes in your kit, and we'll get to that in a second. So you want to play safe with Kog'Maw. You want to play behind your front line or really close to your support and just wait for your W to be up. That's the biggest tip I can give you guys on Kog'Maw to play him effectively. Okay, so we're going to level up a couple times here. And talk about your Q, which you'll pick up usually as your second ability, Caustic Spittle. So passively, Kog'Maw gains some attack speed, which is great. That's why you're going to be maxing out this ability second in your lineup of basic abilities. And then actively, he spits out a projectile that deals some magic damage to the first enemy hit, whether it's a minion or champion, and it shreds armor. Okay, so again, this is playing into Kog'Maw's kind of, you know, his W is dealing max health damage, the Q shredding armor, magic resist, right? Like, he wants to focus on one target, and he wants to burn that target down really, really quickly, okay? All of his abilities are focused on burning down these targets really, really fast. So how you tie these two abilities generally in lane is you'd want to hit somebody with your Q first, obviously, to kind of shred their armor, and then activate your W and deal those empowered auto attacks to them at a safe range. Okay, so really easy between these two. You want to land your Q, you want to press your W and start auto attacking them down. Okay? When your W is kind of on cooldown, like we said, just back off, play safe, last hit some minions if you want. Don't go for probably any trades. Alright, your level 3 ability here, which is Avoid Ooze. Kog'Maw spits bile, dealing again some magic damage, but the real key of this ability here is it leaves a trail of ooze for 4 seconds, and anyone in that ooze is slowed. Okay, so you're going to spit out this trail of ooze. Anybody that walks into it or is caught in it is just going to get slowed and have some magic damage dealt to them. So how do you pair that up with your other two abilities? Well, we know that the Q is a skill shot, which means that we could miss, right? Like if you missed a champion or they're moving or dodging, you're not going to get that armor shred. So ideally what you want to do is see if you can hit their E on them first. That's going to slow them, make it easier to hit your Q, and then you press W and start trading onto them. Okay, so a perfect kind of 3 basic ability trade combo with Kog'Maw is going to be land that E, land that Q, press W, and start trading onto them. If you can do that, you're probably going to win every single trade as long as your support isn't trolling you hard and you get 2v1'd. Okay, so that's really it with Kog'Maw's basic abilities. It's very, very simple. Again, he's a right-click champion. There's not too much to know here. It's just having the discipline of if you hit your E and your Q, press W and start going ham. Right? If you don't, then play safe, wait to try that again, just wait for your W to be up to start dealing some of that damage. Okay? So we'll talk about our level 6, but again, before we get there, let's just level up to 6. You're going to be maxing out that W ability as your first basic ability, and then obviously picking up a point in R whenever you can. The R, again, just plays into Kog'Maw's very basic kind of glass cannon, catapult from the back line gameplay, which is living artillery, so it's even got artillery in the name. So Kog'Maw shoots acid at an area, dealing 109 damage, plus, you know, some percentages, not too important to know that kind of stuff. Enemies below 40% health take some extra damage, okay? So this is a stacking ultimate, which means that every time you cast it, it's going to have an additional mana cost to it. Subsequent shots within 8 seconds cost an additional 40 mana, all the way up to 400 mana. So just kind of be careful that you don't just spam it, because you're going to run through your mana very, very quickly. But you can see the range of the R is about as big as this blue circle. So I could be hiding in this bush, click R on that person, and it's going to deal 109 damage. Again, it's nothing crazy. Obviously, as you get more items and you level it up, it's going to deal more damage. But it's just nice for a long-range poke. Maybe you can try and steal kind of barons or dragons if you wanted to, or just poke down enemies at range. You could also use it to help you secure some last hits on minions if it's not safe for you to walk into range to auto-attack a minion, right? Like, that's really close range. You could just get some last hits from all the way back here like this. Okay? So just kind of range damage. But again, just to reiterate to everyone watching this, the core ability that makes Kog'Maw is his W. And that's the ability you want to max first, and you want to play around, okay? So how do we tie in an R to a basic combo? It still would be kind of E, Q, and then W auto attacks. If they decide to run away because they're like, oh damn, Kog'Maw's burning me down, you might throw an R behind them and cover their retreat so they can't walk away, and it would just maybe deal that finishing blow. Again, if you read the ability, anybody below 40% health damage, or 40% health takes extra damage, that's when that ability really starts to hurt them. After you've landed an EQ and a few autos like this, and they're retreating, you can put an R on them. Okay? So guys, that's basically the abilities. We're going to jump into lane now against a AI bot and just have some fun kind of talking about lane phase and how we can trade onto them effectively, and have some fun with trading. Alrighty, so while minions walk to lane here, I just want to quickly let you guys know that there are two different versions, two different builds, if you will, that you can run with Kog'Maw. The more traditional kind of ADC role, where you're going to be building those right-click auto-attack crit items, and you're going to be trying to burn people down just with right clicks. The other one is AP Kog'Maw, because all of his abilities actually have an AP element to them, ability power. So I'll try and post almost a gameplay where we rock AP if you're interested in seeing that. But enough about AP Kog'Maw, let's focus on this game here. So we've picked up our W first. What you can do with your W in lane is try and get a quick early poke off on a champion because of that extra auto attack range. You could also use it to help you secure last hits from a safe distance on enemy minions. Either way, you just want to again play around that cooldown. When it's on cooldown, you can see your range is very small. As a ranged mid laner, you will have the opportunity to still kind of get some harass on people with right clicks, but I would suggest not pushing the wave as Kog'Maw almost in any scenario. Because you have no escapes, you want to let this wave push to you at all times. You never want to be pushing this wave out, so just be careful with auto-attacking champs when the waves are meeting for the first time, because it will force the wave to push into you, or sorry, push into them. Okay, so again here, our combo with Q and W, you land your Q and then you just start throwing Ws at them. Get as many as you can without taking too much minion aggro. Kog'Maw's health bar is very, very small. Minion aggro could even add up and cause a big problem for you if you take too much of it. Okay, so that's very early levels. You should be playing very safe. There should be no threat of you dying early because you're playing so safe. You're just going to be trying to throw autos from range with W, maybe poking with a QW trade, and then when you get to level 3, if they give you a chance, you're going to try and lead that combo out with your E to slow them, and then try and land autos or Qs. If minions are in front of you, don't bother throwing the Q. Just throw your W like we're doing here. You can see the damage that W spits out is actually really, really big, and then you could maybe try and finish with the Q, okay? So, E, W, if there's minions in front, if there's no minions in front, obviously make sure you throw that Q out so that you can reduce their armor and their magic resistance, shred them even harder with W. Now, we're maxing that W out first, again, because we want that percent health damage. Every time you max this ability up with another point, you're going to get more and more power out of it. So we want to be maxing that ability first. If you wanted to try and shove waves quickly with Kog'Maw because you want to get a tower reset, you could use your E to do that. It does deal magic damage as well. So again, here we see her, we're going to W, Q, then, sorry, E, Q, W to start shredding her with our combo. Alright, so the E for the slow, that slow from the E helps us hit our Q more effectively because the Q is a skill shot. We want every ability to help us land that skill shot, so a slowed enemy will help us land that. And then you just turn on your W and start burning them down. You will be able to burn people down very, very quickly. Part of playing Kog'Maw well is just learning your damage. It's tough for some people because your health bar is so low that as soon as you see yourself start to take damage, you're going to be like, oh crap, wait, I need to back up and run. But you actually want to keep kind of standing your ground at safe range anyway, and just right-click them, right? It's almost like Tryndamere in that way. So again, here we see Lux coming in. We're going to look for our E, Q, and then just start autoing her. Right, that E slows her so that we can land more autos. The Q shreds her health, and the W just finishes them off. Alright, so we've got a few kills, the waves pushed. This is a good time to back and recall now. Anytime you have kind of around 1500 gold in lane and you've pushed is a great time to recall and buy. We're going to be building into that Kraken Slayer first. If you had certain types of gold backs where you just want to buy boots because you have 1100 gold, that's great, go ahead and do that. I personally like to try and pick up the Noon Quiver as my first item more often than not, so we're going to get the Noon Quiver and then head back to lane. Now with 3 points in our W, you can see that our attack range is up to 170 bonus attack range, and also our attacks deal an additional 5% max health magic damage. That means that when we press W, our auto attacks are going to hurt, like a lot. So we're going to try and land our E on her so she can't run away once we start burning her down. And if we can land a Q on her, that's even better because it's going to shred whatever little armor she has. So the wave is pretty big right now. We don't want to trade into a huge wave like that. 10 minions will hurt Kog'Maw in terms of his health bar. He's very, very squishy. So you're just going to have to wait for an opportunity to present itself when we can get an effective trade-off, okay? So here again, we're just going to try and manage the wave, play around what's in front of us here with the wave that we have. Now we'll try and land an E if she comes into range. We'll try and land an E, Q, and then press W and start trading onto her. So I'm going to postulate pretty aggressively. Here's the E, the Q. We missed the Q, but the W is activated. Let us get kind of 1 or 2 autos off maybe on her. All you're going to do is you're going to wait 10 seconds and try that again when your W is back up. So you can see I'm playing safer with my W down. Maybe I want to poke her with the R. Again, you could always do that. You could use the last hit minions. But here we're going to throw that E out. Try and throw that Q out. If she's out of range, you can throw that R and start to deal some more damage. If they're below 40% health, that R deals more and more damage. So you can use the R to maybe stop a recall if you really wanted to, or just get a little bit of poke if they're playing very, very safe. So here, she's recalling. We're going to use our E on the wave. It deals a little bit of damage to help us shove. We're also going to R the back line just to help us get a little bit more damage on everything and clear it a little bit faster. Okay, turret taking with Kog'Maw, obviously as you get more items and more attack damage, it becomes easier. Again, I would just kind of say don't sit in this position for too long as Kog'Maw when you don't know where the enemy jungle is. If they come to gank you from top bottom, right, you have no escapes. All you have is your E to maybe slow them down if they're chasing you. Other than that, you're going to have to turn and fight. So in these situations, if you can get a shove off, maybe get 1 plate, take that advantage, recall, go buy some more items. Right, you can see here, I'm just burning these minions down, getting 1 more push off, and then I'm going to back and recall again. You can see here, we're again kind of between that 1,000 to 1,500 gold mark, so it's really up to you if you want to take a good recall. Here, the waves are going to crash again. I have enough mana to probably get another good trade-off on her, so I'm going to stay in this case and try and get 1 more good trade-off on her before I back. So we're going to try and land that E on her. W, start auto-attacking. If she starts to run, you're going to throw that R behind her to cover her retreat. Okay? Very, very simple with Kog'Maw. It's just all about the discipline, using your W properly, and then later on, outside of lane and team fights, making sure that you stay behind your front line. You do not want to get focused by anybody on the enemy team. You want to make sure you stay super safe, use your R and your W to hit people at very, very long ranges, and then use your E to make sure that you can slow anybody down who's trying to run into you. So we're building closer towards the Kraken Slayer. We'll pick up a pair of boots here. Again, use your gold however you can to buy the most items on each back. We're maxing out that Q second. We're going to walk back to lane now, and we should be able to now, with the extra damage from pickaxe, really shred this Lux, okay? We're going to throw in our R's to also deal damage if she starts to run away. We're just going to look to hit our E, press W, and start burning her down. Even if she lands her combo on us, we should have enough damage to really destroy this Lux. Okay, so we'll E from this range, slowed her, we'll throw an R behind her. Generally, people will always retreat behind. We'll throw another R. Now we're just going to activate our W and start auto-attacking her down. You can see the power of the autos when you have even 3-4 points in them. It's very, very, very big. So we killed her. We're going to shove this wave in. We're going to use our E and our R to do this really, really quick. So R on the back line. Auto-attack everything else down with 1 hit. And then we're going to gank top here. But I want to say a special call out when you're playing Kog'Maw mid or even bot. You never want to roam into the fog of war unless you are very, very strong or there's someone else doing it with you. Okay, this is a very dangerous play. If someone was sitting in this bush, we'd essentially die. But if you were ganking, you want to cover retreat with your E like so, and then you just want to start auto-attacking people down after you hit a Q. Okay, if you're fed, try and take the kills obviously and steal them with R. In that case there, I just wanted to demonstrate how landing an E behind people could be an effective way to turn a team fight. But here, again, you're R in the back line, and then you're going to auto-attack down the back line. If you're with a team, again, because you're kind of that artillery ADC, you can just press W and just bomb towers from very, very far away and deal a lot of damage, get some plate gold. Again, you could use your R on the backline minions from very far away just to deal some damage to them as well. Okay, so we've cleared those out. We've pushed this into tower again. You can see we have kind of that 1500 level of gold. This guy wants to fight, so we're EQW and then just kill him at very, very long range. If they're caught in your ooze, there's really nowhere they can go, so you just want to keep auto-attacking them down. So we'll see if we can sneak behind this Lux now. We're going to use our E or Void Ooze behind her so she can't retreat. Even if you don't necessarily hit them with the ooze, you want to try and cover off the retreat so you can just land as many W's as possible. So here we Q'd her, W'd her, the E's covering her retreat, and we don't even have to move at this point. Our autos are so strong, we can just right click her down. Alright, so we could maybe take one more plate before this goes. I think we have a couple more minutes before plates are done. So again, we're just following that same push play where we are the back line and then auto attack everything else down and take some plates. Maxing out that Q second. Just auto attacking down these plates, getting as much gold as we can. This would be a better option for you if you really wanted to try and snowball your games as Kog'Maw mid. Taking those turret plates, even if you were playing bot, taking those turret plates instead of roaming around looking for kills in the fog of war. It's not a strength of Kog'Maw to do that. Just try and focus on the plates, taking down those towers. You're an artillery ADC, so that's what your focus is. Okay, so we have enough gold for Kraken Slayer and Berserker's Greaves. I like to build out that Ginsu's Rage Blade as my third main item, so we're going to start to build towards that now. And let's just have some fun and show the power now with Kraken Slayer, because every third attack with Kraken Slayer deals true damage. So this is where Kog'Maw becomes absolutely disgusting after this item, because if you can land an E and then you press W, you are going to shred these people down. So I'm actually curious to see how fast we can kill this Lux with auto. So we're just going to walk into her EQ W, 1, 2, 3 autos. She's dead. 3 autos and she died, right? Like, that is power of Kog'Maw. That comes with a huge trade-off of 0 mobility, and you die instantly if someone kills you. So just keep that in mind. But you eventually become a right-click GOG with Kog'Maw. He's a very late-game oriented champ, so early game is considered weaker. But as the game goes longer and you get more items, he becomes stronger. So again, that's why you just want to kind of play safe early game. There's really no pressure on you to snowball. You can just buy items and get last hits and probably end up carrying the game and dealing a bunch of damage. So we'll do one more play top here and just show maybe some of the distance and the power on your R if champions are low, that you can kind of snipe them out without even getting close to tower. So we see this Karthus low, maybe he's over here, we'll throw an R behind him. You can see we snipe them out with R, we'll maybe throw an R on this guy. Even if we don't hit him, just activate your W and hit them at range. So guys, that's basically it for Kog'Maw. The only thing we didn't talk about in this video, and it's because I don't want to put any bad karma on you guys, is Kog'Maw's passive, which is his surprise play, I guess you could call it. I hope you guys never die when you pick up Kog'Maw, but if you do, Kog'Maw can continue to move and gains 40% move speed for 4 seconds after dying. After those 4 seconds, he explodes, dealing 375 true damage. So if you happen to find yourself, you know, dying as Kog'Maw in a team fight, just know you have 4 seconds to run around and position yourself before you basically explode and self-destruct and deal a bunch of true damage. So it could help you guarantee some of those kills. But really you're trying to focus on that EQ-W combo, mixing in your Rs for that damage, right? Like you can see now we can just start to spit out crazy damage. That guy just got away from us. Our W was on cooldown, so we had to let him go. But even here, right, like we could spit now our W on him and our R as well and almost kill him without even taking tower aggro. So guys, have fun in your Kog'Maw games. Let me know if there's any questions. Like I said, I'm going to try and post an AP build with Kog'Maw mid, which is kind of like a nice fun way to play him in the mid lane. It lets you really have fun with kind of dealing a bunch of damage with your R. But yeah, right-click God. You'll notice that in your games with Kog'Maw, you'll probably top out the damage charts if you're playing him well and you're at least staying alive and not dying. So until then, I will catch you guys in the next one.